There is no inherent bias in ranked choice voting. It's a system. It's a system that improves representation and makes it so that the voters get what they are seeking. And so if there's a party that is not seeking to represent voters, then I guess they should be really afraid of moving to a more representative system, but it doesn't favor Democrats or Republicans.
Welcome back to the Around the Districts podcast, where we bring conversations to you with the people shaping our communities, districts, and the future of Arizona. I'm Gabrielle Mazar.
I'm Nicole Brown.
And on today's episode, we have Kazz Fernandes joining us, a systems engineer turned voting reformer, leading the charge at Voter Choice Arizona to bring ranked choice voting and better ballots to the Grand Canyon state. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to talk more about ranked choice voting.
Yeah. So Arizona has a massive growing block of independent voters. Why are we such a prime ground for voter choice reform right now?
So the current system, it's really not inclusive to independents. And I think a lot of people think independents are either right in the middle between Democrats and Republicans, or they are Democrats or Republicans that forgot to check a box on their registration form, but they've chosen that, and we can see that in the changing demographics. Every single report for voter registration, we see an increasing number of independents. So we have to include them in the process. We have to appeal to them. And our current system, where independents have to collect 6 times as many signatures just to get on the ballot, 6 times as many signatures as Democrats and Republicans, and that they can't fairly participate in the primaries, which are oftentimes the decisive race in elections. That's why we haven't seen independents really represented at the state and federal level throughout this state's history. So moving to open primaries, equalizing signature gathering requirements, and having a competitive ranked choice voting election to decide a winner should offer them and all other voters more choice. And potentially we get to see how a multi-party democracy actually works.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they have to get more signatures.
Yeah, a lot more signatures.
Like, that feels like a punishment for being independent. And one thing that we learned from the last election is that a lot more folks left their respective parties and went independent.
Or chose to be independent, not choosing either party as well. So it's not like that's a choice. They make that choice or choose to leave a party, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And you can choose a Republican or Democrat ballot to vote on either one of those. But again, like you said, they're not fairly represented.
It doesn't feel like it's fair.
Yeah.
Not to me anyway.
Yeah. So I think we can make a few changes to make it a little bit more fair and allow better participation for independents and hopefully representation for them as well.
So if Arizona voters were asked to weigh in on ranked choice voting in the future, what should they know before their vote?
So if they were asked to weigh in on ranked choice voting, I think they should know that it's actually a system that's been around since the 1800s. America kind of had its first experiment with ranked choice voting in the late 1800s. Towns and cities across the country were starting to use it, and unfortunately, it got repealed, and we're having the second wave of ranked choice voting adoption. But the repeals were because ranked choice voting delivered on its promises of representation. We would see voters elect a black city council member in a district that previously only had white representation, and then the next year they would repeal ranked choice voting. Same thing for different small partisan factions across the country. So it delivers on its promises. It can eliminate the costs of runoff elections. It can improve representation. We see women, people of color, and young people getting elected at higher rates, and more of them participating in as candidates. And it can improve campaigning as well, making things more positive for the voters. So there's lots to love. It's not a magic cure-all, but I think there is a lot to be gained from a really minor improvement to our elections.
It's crazy because in Arizona, there are some city councils that have never had a black person on their council in 2026.
Yeah.
And then very few women And even like for me, like being on the SRP board and council, I'm on the council. I'm the first Black woman ever elected in 120 years, you know? It's like things like that
And
still
we've been
boggle my
here.
mind. I know, like we've been here. But when you look back and you see the history, you're like, wow, just white men mostly, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so that's interesting that that would sort of help with that situation,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then they repeal it there, you know, once.
Well, it's because
Absolutely.
essentially it's another form of voter suppression and disenfranchising voters, right?
yeah, the status
I agree.
quo, the yes, the system that we exist under, what's Arizona, 115 years, roughly. You know, it has been working for some, but it wasn't really designed to represent all of us. So we need to upgrade. We need to improve, move into the modern era. And I think the simplest way to do that is allow more diversity in candidate selection and use ranked choice voting.
Over the 4th of July, I was in Boston, and it's so funny that you're talking about that because, you know, the no taxation without representation really does apply today, and ranked choice voting would help with that. So, like, if somebody that looks like me or you gets a higher, you know, number of votes than somebody that looks like, you know, that doesn't look
Yeah.
like us, then, you know, that person can move on into the general election and or win an election. So it seems like that really does matter.
Yeah, I think that all is a part of building a more perfect union. We all want representation. Every one of us has to pay taxes, has to
Yeah.
be accountable to the laws of the city, state, and country. And we all deserve a part and a seat at the table when it comes to the process to make those laws or update them.
Right. Because I think I said it earlier where there are cities here in Arizona where there has never been somebody of color on their city councils representing all of their constituents,
Yeah.
you know, or women or whatever the case may be. You still see that, and it's 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a few years ago, in Minneapolis or St. Paul, they moved to ranked choice voting. And you may have seen a video where previously it was all older white men that were represented on the council, and immediately after moving to ranked choice voting, we saw the council move to entirely women, all women of color except for one. So the change, you know, was day and night. And it's crazy to me that women are not 50% of the folks that end up in elected office because
By
50% of the
yeah.
population.
By
Yeah,
design. Right.
Well, even in Chandler, they just re-elected three of their
Two incumbents.
two incumbents and the mayor
Mhm.
that changed,
The
who was on
mayor,
the council.
a Democratic mayor for the first time in 36 years.
But they added a
Another
councilwoman.
woman. Mm-hmm.
And yesterday I was at an event that they had sort of celebrating their win, and they were like, this is the first time we've had 4 women on council
Yeah.
in Chandler.
Yeah.
Scottsdale, then it makes me look at Scottsdale because I know they're going to have a runoff and
Mhm.
think, like, how many people of color have been on Scottsdale? And I don't know their research. I don't know. I can't speak to it, but it's a question that popped in my mind and said, the city of Scottsdale, like there's Paradise Valley, there's all the rural areas, like people live there that are
Yeah.
of, you know, different races. Are
Go to
any of
school
them?
there.
Are
That
they
goes-
Work there.
Are they
represented?
represented? You know?
Well, like you said, there has to be change too because Arizona has shifted so much in demographic
Mhm.
and over the course of the last 40 years, not only have we seen, everyone's like, we're a red state, we're a red state, we're a red state, but we're not. We're not. We've shifted not only to that, but we've also shifted in our demographic as well, but we're not represented that way. And obviously we see, huge gerrymandering here, as we well know, but, things have to definitely change here to represent the people that are here in our community.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That are growing the economy here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And paying taxes and
Paying
growing the economy and living here and paying to live here and be here for sure.
So, what resources would you recommend for voters who want to learn more about ranked choice voting?
Yeah, so I mean, there's plenty of explainers. There's plenty of information at this point on ranked choice voting. It's been in the news nonstop. Our website, voterchoicearizona.org, has a good amount of information, answers, frequently asked questions, and things like that. And you can also, we always have ranked choice voting polls going on where people are actually trying out RCV and deciding on their favorite Arizona food or their favorite Phoenix Mercury all-star player or something like that. And they can go to vcaz.org/links, find our hot links and all of those links for trying ranked choice voting. So I think that's the best resources.
Okay, so I have to say this because you said there's plenty of resources and people know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't. I don't know that much.
Sure.
And I'm a more informed voter. So when I think about it, like the average person who just votes, like maybe not even in the midterms, but they vote in the general election and that's
They
it.
vote for president and nothing else.
That's it. Like
Yeah, that's a good point.
I
So
think they're like, I don't know a lot. And if
Sure.
I don't know a lot and I'm involved, how do we make it so more of the, average voter who only will go either midterm in general or just general?
Yeah.
How do you
not
get them
voting in
more?
local elections
Exactly.
or for ordinances,
They-
things like that.
They
Yeah.
don't even know how important it is to vote in the midterms. Those are more important than the general election.
Yeah.
That directly impacts us, right?
So you're right. And I shouldn't assume that people know about it just because they've heard about it. We do events all the time. A lot of folks recognize our bright orange shirt. We were like traffic cone orange. If you see someone traffic cone orange with a clipboard, they're one of mine. At your farmer's market, at Phoenix Pride, wherever. But we always offer to do presentations. We have a nice little form on our website. If you want to do a presentation and learn about ranked choice voting with you and 10 of your friends, or your legislative district meeting, your knitting club, whatever it is, we'll come out and send a certified speaker to give a short presentation and then answer all of your questions. So I know for me, I don't necessarily always learn the best by reading white papers and academic literature. I like to have conversation, put it into practice, and kind of find out where else it's been used, things like that. So yeah, we have plenty of those resources again on our website, vcaz.org. You can book a presentation or just reach out and contact us if you want a little bit more of one-on-one learning.
I think that's a great idea because, like I'm a visual learner.
Mhm.
So if you're going to present to me and show me how it works, and then I can think about your contest with chicken wings or pies or whatever you want to do, then that helps me understand it a little bit better.
So back in 2024, we had Prop 140 that was that the Arizonans voted down. Arizonans voted down 60-40 to not have on the general ballot. Can you explain to us the difference of Prop 140 and what you are trying to get on the ballot in Tempe?
So the difference is pretty massive. So Prop 140 would have affected, it would have been a constitutional amendment for the Arizona State Constitution. So it would have affected elections at all levels in Tempe. We're just looking at Tempe City Council and Mayor. And we already have open primaries in Tempe's elections, so there's no change there. But Prop 140, it would have equalized signature gathering requirements, which is a great thing. It would have moved to an open primary, but the details kind of things deviate from what we propose and what they propose from there. So their open primary would have required only 2 winners moving to the general election, and so there would have been no ranked choice voting. And if it had a component that would have allowed the legislature to choose to increase its competition, to go from 2 people in the general election to 5, the top 5 vote getters from the primary. And but it would have required the legislature to agree, the governor to sign it. And at that time, the legislature was actively trying to ban ranked choice voting, trying to ban open primaries. And I don't know how many of our legislators are excited about adding competition into their next race. the incentives just weren't there. So in Tempe, we would be looking to enact ranked choice voting for the mayor and proportional representation for the city council. And so that would still use a ranked choice voting ballot, but voters would rank as many of the candidates as they like, and candidates would be elected in proportion to the vote share.
And so Tempe is interesting. So you're looking to get this on the ballot for the next
Yeah. So
election, right? In 2 years?
so actually, we would like for this to go into effect in 2028.
Okay.
So we would be putting this on the ballot for a May special election. That's our target date. And
May
then
of next year?
Okay. May of 2027.
Okay.
And so if that were to pass, and I'm sure there will be legal challenges, but in theory, that could be the system that Tempeans are using in 2028 when they elect their
Mayor.
reelect their mayor, and elect their next city council.
Interesting. Because I'm a Tempe resident, I'm like, wow, so this might be coming our way. And it's something that we can really think about. But like, what's one myth? Because you talked about myths a little bit about ranked choice voting, but what's one that you really want to clear up?
So one myth that I hear in certain rooms is that this is a ploy by the Democrats to just win every seat, or it's a ploy by the Republicans to do the same, or Greens, or whoever. There is no inherent bias in ranked choice voting. It's a system. It's a system that improves representation and makes it so that the voters get what they are seeking. And so if there's a party that is not seeking to represent voters, then I guess they should be really afraid of moving to a more representative system. But it doesn't favor Democrats or Republicans. And when I was working nationally, I saw that, because in red states, Republicans would be the ones trying to ban it. And in blue states, Democrats would be the ones trying to ban it or prevent it from being adopted. So we get hate from both sides.
So there's not one or the other. Let's see, what's going to be the biggest challenge, do you think? Is it going to be the legislators pushing back, or what?
So we'll definitely face some pushback from incumbents. No one who's currently in power, whether that's elected leaders or their consultants, they're not really interested in changing the game that they've been winning. And so there will be some pushback. I think the biggest obstacle is really just getting in front of more people. Like you said, we need to always be educating, and then when it goes into effect, working with cities, with recorders, with elections administrators to make sure they fully understand how the system works, how they can best execute on their jobs with best practices that we've learned from elections all across the country and the world, and making sure those elections go off well. We oftentimes are already waiting for election results today, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think we should let the count happen as it happens, and we might not know who's AG for 3, 4, 5 days, but that's okay. I just want to make sure the votes are counted appropriately. So yeah, really just education and for voters, and education for elections administrators.
Yeah, I think messaging is going to be the biggest challenge. Getting people to understand what it means and what it looks like, and then once you get the people on board, the candidates kind of have to conform to that a little bit,
and
right?
Yeah, and that's what we've seen statewide, and also with the early efforts to with the early efforts to petition to start our initiative in Tempe.
Yeah. All right. So how can people learn more, do more? What's your call to action?
So my call to action, if you're in Tempe, you should find us, find Better Ballot Arizona, and sign a petition. We have socials all the time. We have events. Probably see our volunteers outside of the Tempe Public Library, and you can just do that while you're running in to grab a book. And if you aren't aren't really sure about ranked choice voting, you want to learn more, you want a presentation, go to our website, vcaz.org, and request a presentation or attend one of our informational sessions. We do an intro to RCV virtually every week, and learn more, learn how it's been used across the country and how it can make some of the election problems go away and give us more representation.
Okay.
Well, Kazz, thank you so much for sharing so much about ranked choice voting with us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully our listeners learned something, and you can go to the website. We will also share that in the show notes for you, so you can also find that there if you want more information. But thank you for sharing that with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. This has been the Around the Districts podcast. You can like, share, comment, and follow, and we will see you on the next episode.